Most people think AI writes social posts or emails, which of course is true, but one of its most powerful uses is something else entirely, and that's thinking. I asked ChatGPT Deep Research to investigate one of aesthetics' hottest topics, exosomes versus polynucleotides, and the results surprised me. This is not really a video about choosing one treatment over another. It is about what happens when a clinic owner uses AI as a research assistant before making a clinical or commercial decision. This is because historically many buying decisions in aesthetics came from sales reps, conferences, KOLs, brochures, or seeing what competitors were doing. None of these are bad sources, but they can be incomplete. However, AI can now act like a research assistant sitting beside you. It can gather sources, compare claims, identify uncertainty, and help you ask better questions before committing money, time, and clinical reputation. And this was not asking AI a lazy question like which one is better. I asked it to investigate critically. I wanted it to look at the evidence quality, the safety issues, the mechanisms, the limitations, and the point where commercial claims may be running ahead of published evidence. That difference matters. The quality of the question changes the quality of the answer, especially when used in conjunction with the deep research mode. Interestingly, there was not a simple winner. Polynucleotides currently appear more straightforward from an evidence and implementation perspective. They're not perfect and the evidence base still has limitations, but the product logic is generally easier to understand. Exosomes are biologically exciting, but there are still bigger questions around standardization, sourcing, regulation, and whether the specific product being sold is actually supported by the published literature. So the biggest finding was not really exosomes versus polynucleotides. The bigger finding was that AI can now do several evenings of research in a fraction of the time. It can create a structured report, separate stronger evidence from weaker evidence, and produce supplier questions that are much sharper than most clinics would normally prepare. So now, before spending thousands on a treatment, product, or device, these are the 4 questions I would now ask AI to investigate. Does it work? Does it work for my clinic, my patients, and my positioning? Does it make money when we model the real costs and capacity? And what is not being said in the marketing material? The quality of your questions increasingly determines the quality of your decisions. So again, this is not really a story about exosomes versus polynucleotides. It is a story about how clinic owners can now think differently using AI. I've included the full downloadable literature review and references so you can see the kind of output deep research can produce. AI, of course, will not remove the need for judgment, but it can give you better information before you make that judgment.